Hey guys, I hope you have all been doing awesome since my last video, and I hope life has been treating you good, not just good, awesome. And today I want to speak about being your own best teacher and also being your own worst enemy. As humans, I notice a lot that in our culture nowadays, we have sort of learn to have this self-hatred to ourselves, and it may not be a hatred or something as extreme like that, but a lot of the times we may not trust ourselves. And I think it's really important that first off we understand that we are who we are for a reason. Our creator, God, the universe, whoever the creator is in your eyes, did not just make every single person at random. Every single person was born with a specific reason and a specific purpose as to why they are that certain purpose, that certain person in that certain situation. Um, I think it's really important that we learn to trust ourselves and we learn to listen to ourselves, because God gave us these personalities, and God gave us these differences and unique things that make us who we are for a reason. We have to learn how to be open to what who we are on the inside is saying to who we are on the outside. I know that with me, part of my journey was learning how to listen to the voice that I have inside instead of listening to the voice that I thought was me, but it was actually all the people around me that I wanted to be good enough for. It was just a collection of their voices, distorted into a voice that I thought was my own, and it wasn't my voice. So we must be able to learn how to trust ourselves and learn how to listen to this voice inside ourselves, because God put that voice in there for a reason. And if we deny that voice inside ourselves, we deny who we are. And if we deny who we are, we will never be happy. Or at least we can try and try, but I don't think we will find that full accomplishment of happiness in our lives. Um, we have to learn how to be our own motivators. It's always so good to be able to surround yourself with a support group and with people who constantly motivate you and who always say, you know what, you're doing great, I really like what you're doing, keep doing this, keep that good work up. But sometimes those people aren't going to be there for you because they have their own lives too, and we have to learn how to be our own best motivators. Um, we have to be open to learning how to change that voice inside our heads that says we can't do it, that says we have to rely on other people for motivation. We have to just stop all those negative thoughts about ourselves and replace them with positive thoughts about ourselves. Whenever you find yourself saying something negative about yourself, I just want you to just step back for a second and realize what you're saying about yourself and how you are hurting yourself, and replace that negative thought with a positive thought. Find something good about yourself and keep that up. Keep going, keep going. And at first it'll be hard, but then the more you do it, the more habitual it will become, and it'll be second nature soon before you know it. And while we must have that motivation inside ourselves, we must always motivate ourselves. We must always be here for ourselves. We must be the biggest foundation and the biggest support for ourselves. We have to, of course, stay open to the motivation that other people give us. We can't push people away. We have to embrace every ounce of motivation and every ounce of support and love that we get from the people on the outside. Um, but we must learn to always be able to get that motivation and love from inside of us too. Um, I like to find a medium in balancing the motivation I get on the outside and the motivation I get on the inside. We can't go to one end of the extreme or go to the other end of the extreme. We can't just fully rely on people outside of us, and we can't fully rely on the person inside of us, because it'll leave us lonely if we just push people away. So we have to find a good medium, and we always have to be there for each other, and mostly we have to be there for ourselves. Um, Of course, I believe that the only motivation that truly, truly, truly counts in the very end is the motivation you give yourself. Of course, the other people's motivation is amazing. What is a celebrity without its fan groups, you know? What's a teacher without its students? Of course, the motivation that we get from other people is extremely important, but remember that you're your own person for a reason. You have your own mind for a reason. You have to be able to embrace that mind, and you have to remember that if someone says something that you don't like, that your opinions is the only one that matters in the end. And if your opinions about yourself are negative, then it's not going to be a happy road to the end of life for you, or to the beginning of the next life, or whatever. It's not going to be happy if you have negative opinions about yourself. You have to learn how to change those, and just start by finding something good in yourself every day. You know, look at yourself in the mirror and find something that you like, and also just write a list of your personality, the areas of your intelligence that you like about yourself. um, don't let others words get to you. They're negative words. We all have positive words from others, but again, we must remember that we can't fully rely on the positivity of others. We also have to give too, and not just take all the time. Um, when someone hands you a plate of negative, you just have to brush it off. Just remember that those people that have hurt you, and that domineering figure or figures that are still hurting you in your life right now, whether it be an enemy, or a husband or wife, or someone who's just hurting you right now or has hurt you in the past, and you just can't seem to let go, just remember that with the human potential and intelligence, deep down inside, we don't really mean to intentionally hurt each other, because we are each other. We are all created from the same thing, and we all have the same energy inside of us, which makes us a very unique species, how we have that similar intelligence. And there's just something that we can't see that connects us much closer than we really think we are. And we don't intentionally mean to hurt ourselves. We're just confused, and we don't know how to not hurt ourselves. Those people that have hurt you, whether they believe they want to hurt you or not, I believe that deep down inside, we don't want to hurt each other intentionally. We just want to make ourselves feel better. And sometimes the best way to make ourselves feel better is by crushing other people down and seeing them hurt, because it just gives us a false sense of temporary power. And with that false sense of temporary power, we can go on for another day, maybe even a week, but it's not going to last forever, and it's just going to make you want more and more of that power. Whereas if you give your light and your radiance and your positivity and your kind words and support to others, you will feel fulfilled permanently, eternally, for the rest of your life. And not only will it be good for your soul, but it'll be good for the other people's souls too. And we have to remember that we all come from the same place. While we are different on the outside, while we are all in different positions in life, we have to remember that we are deep down inside the exact same thing. And while we may disagree, we are still the exact same thing, and we must try to understand other people's pain and show compassion for them. Whether or not we want to or not, we must at least try, because how will we show compassion for ourselves and for our own pain if we can't show compassion for other people? Just pay attention to who you are, to yourself, but pay attention to other people, if that makes sense. We are our own best teachers. We are our own worst enemies. We can bring each other up so high, and we can push each other down so badly. And when you are your own worst enemy, you just take all those negative opinions that you hear from other people and that you think about yourself, and you actually believe them, and you have to break those false beliefs. And when you are your own best teacher, you learn to trust yourself, and you learn to love yourself. Because what's a teacher if you can't even listen to them and you aren't willing to learn from them. So be willing and be open to learn from yourself, and ask God, the universe, the creator for help. And when you physically and morally need help, ask the people around you that you trust and that you love. But always remember that while you can be your own best teacher, you can be your own worst enemy by hurting yourself and by hurting other people. Thank you, and have a fabulous day.